we have people who don't look nothing like us, don't come from where we're from, not in the culture, selling us jeans, shirts, fitted hats. Stuff that takes no degree of market research to sell. Let them know the days are coming to an end. What does that mean? We now know how to raise money and we're buying everything. So all of this stuff you run in our communities, and that's coming to an end. Oh, but my grandson is going to college in 2 years. It's going to be very hard for him. Movement alert. Movement alert. Movement alert. We're live in Flexworks Studios, and everything is second to Black Project 2025. We have a movement alert, ladies and gentlemen. Something that is taking on a life of its own. In the next hour, we are going to go deep on something that we haven't witnessed in several years. We haven't seen an organization grow this fast, have this much of a true north. The person at the helm who's speaking the vision is rallying people. Her message is effective. It's strong. She seems very comfortable in the position. She seems ready for the moment, and that is what we talking about. I'm your host, Brother Deshone. Welcome to Hello Black America. I got my brother, super producer Curtis Cheatham to my left. How are you, sir?
Fantastic. Excited to be here.
I got a visual savant, genius Marakee to my right. How are you, my brother?
I'm doing great. How's everybody doing?
We are very excited. We are excited. You know, we're fresh off a team dinner. We had a team dinner last night just talking about how many incredible things are happening, and one of them is this major movement. Black Project 2025. You hear the whispers. You see the hashtag. Now let's go deep. What is it? Who's driving this vision? Why is it captivating the hearts and minds of Black America at lightning speed? Godspeed is what we call it. Godspeed. And we're talking real solutions that their vision is to create businesses, growing wealth, owning our future. I mean, imagine a massive network of Black-owned banks, groceries, law firms, tech companies, more, reshaping Black America, home and abroad. Big things that we want to discuss. But we're going to also go into some things that we want to make sure she knows, you know, things that have come before her. And, you know, we've seen things come and fizzle out. We've seen things come, get hijacked. So we want to make sure we give her everything she needs to do well. So listen where you listen, watch where you watch. We are live on YouTube at all times. You can go to YouTube, check out the show. Make sure you are in the comments. Everything we discuss is going to be in those comments, in that description. Check us out on Spotify. Any question you have, anything we mention is in the show notes there. And shout out to everybody that's reviewed us. It matters. So we're ready to go deep. Curtis, as Kawan fades us out, why don't you cue us up, you know, and kind of, you know, this thing has hit like a wave, faster than any of us could have planned, imagined. What for the people who don't know anything about BP 2025, what have you seen? Kind of what was your perspective, and kind of break it down for the people.
Yeah, Black Project 2025, obviously, as the name would imply, it's kind of in reaction to...
Y'all took woke. We taking Project 2025.
Exactly.
Y'all took woke, because I've been pissed off since y'all took woke from us. Woke started out as a keep your eyes open. Right. Hey, everything is not what it seems. Watch it. Before conspiracy theorists got weird, we were woke.
Right.
You know, it was all through the Black community. Stay woke, bro.
That's
you know,
right.
Childish Gambino. Shout out to Stay Woke.
Love that song.
They creeping, you know, and they took it from us, made it something into something it never was. So we taking We taking Project 2025. It's hard now. It's BP 2025.
BP
Go ahead.
2025.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Listen, it's
Sorry,
an
I had to get that
outstanding movement, and you characterize it correctly as a movement, not just a moment. And the fact of the matter is that we have to seize upon the virality of this, the momentum. We have to keep it going because, you know, in today's society, people get distracted quickly, right? You know, we got to guard against the next viral thing distracting us from following through on the promise of what Black Project 2025 can be for the community. And there's a lot of aspects to this we need to go deep on because, listen, we've not always had the reputation of necessarily trusting each other in regards to certainly in financial types of things.
Absolutely.
So we've got to get past that at some point and really put our destiny into our own hands. And that seems to be what this young lady, Anaya Holloway, has introduced with this BP 2025.
Shout out to Anaya Holloway.
Absolutely.
You are our generation's Harriet Tubman. You're leading it.
Okay.
You're leading it. Now, she didn't do it alone, but she was the leader. And I find it very interesting that
visionary.
it seems she's the visionary. I find it very interesting that it seems as if God has said, I'm going to choose a young black girl, black woman,
right,
to lead something. When they just said, we would rather an older black girl, black woman, not lead the country, that's fine. We didn't think she could lead. That's fine. We didn't think she was the right leader, whether it's her, black people in general, black women, whatever. But I find it very interesting that directly after we have the first presidential race and a black woman loses that race, country makes its decision, great. We have a lightning movement led by this young, what is she, in her early 20s, I believe,
20s.
right?
I believe she's 22, if I have it right. So that's pretty young to have it's such a blessing to be at that age, to have the vision because I'm not going to tell you, at 22, I wasn't thinking about stuff like this. I got to tell you, I wasn't. So, it's impressive that a young woman has the wherewithal to bring this vision to people, to put it together in her mind, to engage around the vision, and to begin to galvanize people to see her vision with her. And that is amazing in such a short period of time. It's probably been just over a week or so since, correct, at this point of when we're recording this, it's probably only been about a week or so since she initiated this. And, I was looking through some of the videos and like every day she's like, I went to bed and there was only 5,000 of them. And I woke up and there was 10,000. And then, that continued to go. And I don't even know what her current count is.
And she's doing several updates daily. She's updating everyone on the groups. They're crashing servers. We're crashing servers. Make sure you are everything that she says join it. Even if it ends up getting crashed and moved to another place, at least you're going to be in the know. Very important to be in the know as these things are happening day by day. But for sure, the big thing we wanted to look at from the start is this the right person? Does this person have the capacity to handle what is in front of her? And, we're looking deep because, everyone can't handle this type of fast-paced movement. But what I love about what she did was if you make sure you watch the webinar, she did a 45-minute webinar. She's not selling anything at the end. Go watch it. It's in her bio. Once you click the video, we'll also, put all the links in the show notes so you could just go right to the description on this video or the show notes. So watch these things so you can start to understand who she is. The team she's putting together initially, she selected a few people who were really just her close friends who seem to be very sharp, who when they saw, listen, if something blew up for you, I would hope you'd have 3, 4, 5 people who say, hey, listen, what can we do, man?
Exactly. How
listen,
can I help?
I've been in banking. Look, I'm in marketing. I'm in whatever. Listen, we'll worry about the details later, but let us help you handle this. And she's done a great job of putting together those introductory people. So that's a great sign concerning her ability to lead and put teams together fast. Very good sign.
Communication and transparency in your communication is going to be paramount in fostering trust in our community for us to really, to stay engaged with this sort of thing. But something you struck me that I'd like to maybe discuss in a few minutes here.
Yeah, because we got to play the video.
Yeah.
I just forgot. But yeah, go ahead.
We'll get to that. But certainly you said the right person. And what does that mean? And I guess it's probably different for different people. But it's got to be somebody that certainly has vision, trustworthy, follow through, intelligence. You got to have somebody that's smart to kind of keep the ideas flowing. So all those kind of things play into what the right person is. And the fact of the matter is she's the right person at the right time because it was her vision. It was given to her and entrusted to her. Now the onus is going to be on us as to how we support that vision, how we engage with that vision, and whether ultimately it's going to be successful or not is really going to be dependent on each one of us individually and, of course, collectively. So I'm excited for the idea. I've been looking for something that unites us for at least a couple decades, since I've been interested in this sort of thing. So I'm excited to see where that goes.
And you were at the Million Man March, so you understand collectively people gathering and how if you can keep the focus and keep the momentum, and really roll out things that lets people know you're about progress. Because again, it's not about awareness. Goes back to what we said when we started the show. Oh, we have to look and roll things out that actually make a difference, and we need to do it in a relatively quick way so that people could see. It's called small wins. Like what we're discussing is small wins. Whenever you go out and you do something, it's great to be able to, even if it's a small thing, get it, check it, do it, so you have a win versus, we're just going to focus on the bigger things. So, what's important for us to do is to help her to, look, we're going to submit a bunch of ideas. You're going to hear a bunch of ideas that we're going to discuss on this show right now. That we've already reached out to our people to try to get in touch with them and let her know these are ideas. They're throwaway ideas because when somebody needs to do these things, it's not us. We're here to do what we're here to do, but we are going to throw out things that we know. If you take them, you hear it, you say, man, I remember when I was listening to an episode of Hello Black America, they threw out the idea of starting to at least unite people around teaching them, ChatGPT and Upwork. ChatGPT, which is, are going to allow any business owner to move fast, develop legal contracts fast, that they can have a lawyer review, business plans. You can do incredible things with ChatGPT. If you are in this day and age and you're not using it for your business, you're moving very slow. Upwork too. If you're not hiring global people, you still got, my brother, man, he just did this logo, man. What you think? That brother looks horrible. How much he charge you for that? He gave me $200. It's my brother. You don't realize that there's people all around the world. You could have got people that would do logos for you for $30, and they'll give you 5 choices and then modification. Oh, for real? Good, because I need a banner made. You're old school, bro. You're talking old school, and unfortunately, when you talk old school, it's very expensive. So these are things that we're not going to do. We're not going to develop that platform. But if you say, all right, we have hundreds of thousands of Black people collectively unifying, why don't I start to do something where I teach them ChatGPT and Upwork? I charge $2.99 a month. Give it to Anaya, let her bring in some income to BP 2025 and start to build something that people could say, wow, you see what they did? Man, I've been on that BP 25. I pay $2, $3 a month, but I done learned how to run my business, how to do business plans, contract, all stuff I thought I was worried about. I need a contract for my lawyer. How much he gonna charge you? $5,000? But if you go in there with a contract that ChatGPT wrote for you and say, hey, can you review that? Make any updates? Okay, that's probably $200, $300 because he only has to put an hour or she. So these are the things where we have to start getting things to Anaya immediately. And that's one of the things that I'm going to discuss here today. We got a lot more to talk about, but one of the things I want to make sure, Curtis, that we do is really start to get her solutions that even if she says, okay, I'm not going to do that right now, or hey, we could do that now, at least she knows when they look and say, all right, what's our next steps? What can we do? They have a bunch of ideas and plans that have been submitted to them that they could at least start reviewing.
We can keep adding layers to the plan, and we can talk about that. Let's get into that when we come back. It's Hello, Black America.
Who you know can take these syllables and tie them in a bow. Ancestors made it off the boat. Swear I need my reparations. He been dreaming way too long. The struggle I done made it from. Just because my skin golden tone, you know they think I'm dumb. Grit the wheel and crew the street. Diamonds in my pack for lead. The mentals of a country boy. Hustle like an athlete. Missing sleep. Still hear the screams of the slaves. Let breath from his lips. Blood covering of his face. Yeah. Box it full of money. Ain't no bank accounts. Don't need a loan. Whole school ride clean.
I know it sounds crazy, but this is my vision. What if all of us were to get into a group? Okay, I'm talking doctors, lawyers, engineers. There's so many of us that are so talented, and we were to work together with our own Black agenda for 2025. I'm talking opening up Black-owned grocery stores in certain cities, Black-owned banks, so that way we can actually get our home loans and do what we need to do, our own doctor's offices, our own law practices, and we really were to just congregate and push towards our goals and our outcomes, right? And so this is how I envision it going. We can all get into this group. We can all donate what we have to donate on a monthly basis. And then basically we can have a CEO, we can have a CMO, and we can have a CFO that's in charge of leading the groups with the initiatives, right? We could have bi-weekly, monthly calls in regards to where we stand with our goals. So, okay, guys, we want a Black-owned grocery store in Los Angeles built and developed, August 2025. This is where we stand. This is how much we have funded. This is what's needed. This is where we are in the process. And we just go from there. And so we can just kind of congregate. And then on top of that, in this group, we could also just have a massive directory of Black-owned businesses. So that means that everyone that joins this group swears off of purchasing from these large corporations. I'm talking Black-owned coffee brands, clothing, everything you guys can think of, toiletries, like down to everything, like body washes, everything we use and consume on a daily basis. It is no longer purchased from these large corporations. It is purchased from one another. And I think that we can create so much wealth amongst ourselves just by strictly swearing off of supporting large corporations and only supporting one another, and also congregating to create our own agenda. Now, I know that there have been people who have tried to do this before in the past, and I know that we struggle as a community to trust one another. I don't really care about all that right now. I just personally feel like if we are able to put our pride aside and get it done, I feel like it could be one of the most impactful things done in Black history. Like maybe there is a silver lining in Kamala not being able to get into office, because as a community, we just become that much more tight knit. Do you get where I'm coming from? I don't know. I know it sounds crazy, but I just feel like this is something that we should do. And I feel like I feel very strongly about the ability for us to transform our community and the perception of African-American individuals if we were to really finally come together.
That was Anaya Holloway, founder of Black Project 2025. That video is currently over 200,000 plus likes, tens of thousands of comments. It's crashed a bunch of servers. As you were listening to that, Curtis, can you see why it went viral?
Absolutely. There's a lot of good stuff in there. And, I'm going to fight my own natural inclination to try and point out the negative pieces of it. But the positive pieces of it are bringing us together. I like what she said about the election, or the non-election, I guess, of Kamala Harris, and that forcing us to bringing us back together. I wasn't born then, but I've learned about the times like in the 50s, pre-civil rights movement, where people in our communities were, the families were tighter. They had their own doctors and lawyers and grocery stores because we were forced to, right? They sell the whites only fountains and stuff,
Segregated,
right?
yep.
Everything was segregated. So it forced us into a situation where we had to look inward and solve our own problems. And we've discussed this on other shows. That's been our history from all these different communities that we've built over time. They were kind of insulated because either white folks would self-segregate and move out when we moved into the communities, and we were forced to deal with it on our own. Mm-hmm. That is, unfortunately, our history. And we need to be, I think there's something to be said for when we look inward, that's when we really shine, I think. So I'm excited about that aspect of it, to see if we really can all be together, look towards ourselves for solutions and not look for somebody to save us.
And the first people who should be reaching out to Anaya Holloway and BP 2025, in my opinion, are the private equity companies that are owned by Black people or run by Black people. Any angel investors, seed investors, people who invest into private companies, that's your business. You need to be reaching out to her, because she's going to develop in the short term, a list of private Black-owned, founded companies that are going to need capital, and need capital the right way, the way that you're used to white companies needing capital. There's a meeting, there's a pitch deck, there's an offer made, there's the market is explained to you. It's a real business proposition. That's what we're going to now see, because the things she talked about, launching grocery stores and law firms and hospitals, these things require a founder or a founding team, a plan, a market research, a pitch, and then they're going to pitch to who's going to give them capital. That's how white companies do it. They're not rich starting these rich companies. They're normal in most cases, and they go to people in funds that lend money or, provide capital. So it's very important that you Black-owned private equity companies, you get in touch with her now, because she has access to all the people that are going to come in the next couple months that are going to need to launch startup tech companies, hair care lines, stuff that we never could really get funded for because it wasn't set up in a way where we were never taught how to build a startup or build a company. So we had to learn these things by trial and error. But I see an incredible opportunity for, funders, angel investors, like I said, seed investors, venture capitalists. We're about to launch more Black-owned businesses around this world than they've ever seen. So the funders, you better get in line.
Amen. Now, I do want to talk about, though, something that she said that kind of struck me that I think is actually going to be a difficult challenge for us, which is swearing off the large corporate brands.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
Not because it's not a good idea, just the possibilities. Go ahead.
That's just it. I remember I came out of college. I did I was a sales job as a water treatment system. So I sold them, and I did this big presentation to the people about the water in their house and how hard it is. You show them how hard the water is and how much easier it's to clean, how much easier it is. You don't have to use as much detergent. And I tell you, the hardest thing to get people to get past is, well, wait a second, I don't have to use the same soap, the detergent. They just couldn't get out of the mindset of using their Tide or their Dawn or the things that they, use. For me, my Mrs. Buttersworth. That's my, I got to have my Miss Butter. I don't want no Aunt Jemima. I don't want nothing, no off-brand syrup. Give me my Miss Buttersworth, and that's all I want.
Yeah.
So I know the mentality is that it's going to be tough for us to get ourselves out of the mindset that, I've been using this for years.
Absolutely.
And so it's gonna, and it's a
now,
touch of it.
Are people who are currently, because we've been there and we still, you buying off brand, you buying whatever's the cheapest, you're buying whatever, you don't need Fruity Loops, you'll take Fruity O's, you know. Go,
those no
those
frills and
are,
those white cans.
listen, get ready, y'all, because y'all first up. We gonna need y'all first because they'll swear off these things anyway. Give us some options, make them relatively affordable. We're less brand committed. They've put us in a position where we've had to be price committed. So we can't be, Tide. I love Tide. But there's a point in time where I couldn't afford Tide. Boy, Tide, or you be there. There's no way this is $17. How much laundry am I going to wash?
Better go to Dollar Tree.
Well, that's right. Every now and then you go, let me get this Fabrico. Shoot, the clothes getting washed.
Listen. And I don't know.
Gananza today.
As long as the clothes are clean.
The clothes getting washed. But for sure, when it comes to brand loyalty, that's the whole purpose of brand loyalty. When there's an option to switch, it's hard because these people have built a brand in your house. And that's why I think when we look at, let's consider why she's saying it. Well, we put so much money in these companies and we have yet to reap the rewards or see the returns for the money we're putting in. But I think if we can start to replace the businesses that have already been in our cities, in our towns, in our neighborhoods for 30, 40 years, let's replace them first. Let's not replace the all right. They say we don't have money. If you go into Orange, New Jersey, if we go to Irvington, walk up Springfield Avenue, I'll show you 4 jewelry stores within 20 steps of each other. 4 jewelry stores. Don't mention liquor stores. No one's ever gone out of business.
None of them.
You seen a liquor store in our cities go out of business? Not one. Chinese restaurant? Been there 30 years, 40 years. Look, never struggled. Expanded. You in 2 locations now, mommy? Yeah, we down the street too.
Yeah, we got another one over.
Yeah. Nail shop. Expanding. Look at all the beauty supply stores. There are 22 beauty supply stores within a half-a-mile radius in any of our neighborhoods.
Yeah, none of them owned by us.
None of them. So now what's going to happen is this is the time for you to analyze their business plan. I don't know who this is for. You've been wanting to get into that line. You need a plan. You need to raise the capital. And then you need to post up right next to them. You post up right next to them. Now, in a perfect world, they're not there, and we're building somewhere else. And we'll talk about that too. But what I'm saying is I think it's easier for us to let's not try to give our people withdraw from the products that they've already, let's open up a grocery store that has Tide in it.
There you go.
You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Let's not open up a black-owned grocery store and I got to get Hendrix laundry detergent because it's a black-owned.
There you go.
Listen, I love it. Hendrix might be a great dude, but give him some time. Can I get my Tide and maybe I'll try Hendrix in a year and then we'll see Hendrix was great. But we got to realize we're committed to brands. And the key is let's give our people the same things we're used to, but let's just change who owns it.
I just had a thought when you were talking about that business plan development, and then just to circle back to the whole ChatGPT thing. If you know how to do it, you can just say, give me a business plan for whatever the business is, and it'll spit out the structure that you need to begin that process. And now you can just go through and well, I don't like the way that sounds. And it's just correcting at that point or just editing a little bit and molding it into your own personal type of plan. But you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Now we have the technology to do these sort of things. And listen, I'll be honest. I'm a man of a certain age that, I remember the zeros and the ones was the only we were learning the binary system when I was in school. That was the only computer literacy that I learned as an elementary schooler. Now you go into an elementary school, every kid's got a laptop or a tablet of some sort.
Uh-huh.
All the electronic whiteboards. I used to have the ones you can put where you scratch the chalkboard.
Absolutely.
Now we got the whiteboards electronically where we can send it to your computer and you can get the notes. We have technology that's available to us. We have to learn to avail ourselves of that so that we don't fall behind the curve. and get stuck while other people are advancing ahead of us. So that's an
100%.
important thing we need to keep in mind.
100%.
The technology of it all. Listen, we got a lot to go into with this Project 2025. We went into a little bit about swearing off the brands, and we talked a little about that. What I'd like to get into in the next segment is she made a statement in her viral video, basically saying that she acknowledged the fact that we've had trouble in our community trusting one another in the past. We've had trouble with these sort of movements in the past. And I believe her quote was, "I don't really care about that right now," which I'm all with. I'm power to it. But I'd love for us to go a little deeper. Is this dismissive of the fact that we have real, legitimate reasons for being distrustful when it comes to our money, right? We've had all types of scams run against us in our community. We can go back to the Freedmen's Bank post Civil War, where, hey, y'all black people, put all your money here. And then next thing you know is there's some sort of flim-flam, and what happened? The money's gone. So we know
We saw Black Lives Matter, $90 million raised.
These are
the types of things.
Not all of them are perpetrated by us against ourselves, but some of them are, and we have to be honest about that, right? Some of it's us, and some of it is people that are taking advantage of us. But now we're reclaiming our power, right? And Black Project 2025 is a way for us to reclaim our power and not be beholden to those who may or may not have our best interest at heart. We got to go into that. We can go into that a little bit more deeper. I want to hear what you have to say about it, but let's take a quick break here on Hello Black America. We'll be right back.
If you're enjoying what you're watching and you want to join this movement, the easiest way to do it is to hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell so you never miss a video. Let's get back to it. So yes, we have a reason not to trust these black movements and anything that aims to be for us. We've seen it fail in the past. And I love that Anaya said, hey, I don't even want to think about those. I don't want to talk about it. I'm not focused on what failed before me. I do get that it can look like, hey, is she dismissing the reality? Well, time will tell. Because if you repeat the same things they did, right, then you know that you dismissed it. But if you are like, my vision's different, I'm going to roll out things y'all haven't even seen. I'm going to make sure that when people look back on BP 2025, they say that changed our lives. I have so many ideas. I got people bringing me ideas. If that's what she's hearing, then I get her saying, I'm not even thinking about that. I see this. I see us building businesses, investing in companies, and that's what we want to discuss. Investing in companies, not pooling money. Very big difference. Investing in companies is very different than pooling money. Pooling, hey, let's put $10 a month in a pot. That's pooling money. Hey, let's put $10 into this share of this company that's going to develop this 50-unit hotel. That's a different thing.
I want to commend her, and we've talked about this before, for her dismissal, if you will, if you see it as such, of what has gone on in the past. is important because it shows a shatterproof vision. The bulletproof vision that we've talked about in the past. You know, you can't be shaken out of your. I know that there are issues. I know there are things that we need to care for. I can't focus on that. I got to focus on the goal and keep us all focused on the goal and what the goal is. So yeah, I mean, it's prudent to be thoughtful about what's gone on in the past. It's wise to understand the mistakes of the past and correct those as you move forward. So I appreciate her acknowledging the fact that this has gone on before, but I also appreciate her unshakable vision about this can work. And, you know, it's great. You know, things don't work until
They work.
they work, right? It's like, we've never done it before. Well, now we're doing
Absolutely.
it. And now it's being done.
Absolutely. And I love something, you know, she said that, you know, we talked about on the garage episodes or the pilot episodes of Hello Black America that we'll release one day. You know, those are in boxes. But, you know, she said something, she said, this isn't, we talked about this earlier. This is not a black
Nobody knows.
movement.
Right.
When we consider that white people do not build businesses and say, we only want white people shopping with us. Nobody does that. And so what we have to realize is that we have already had people making billions of dollars and spending billions of dollars on things we produce. People are not making rap and saying, yo, I don't want no white people listening to my rap music or my or opening up a restaurant and saying I only want this type of people at my restaurant. Anyone who's doing that, we would call them probably, you know, an idiot. So we have to approach it and say, we're building businesses for the world. We're building products for the world, not for Black America. Now, at the same time, can we say, well, we know if Black America likes some stuff, then it might go to the next group of people. So let me make sure Black America likes it. But you don't know if God is going to give you the cure for white men's dandruff. You don't know if
Is that a
God has the cure for white men's psoriasis.
There you go.
I see more white brothers with flakes on their shirts than anyone. Someone has to cure this. They ain't. Maybe you will. You don't have to be white to cure that. That's the point. It's a fun, you know, it's a joke, but it's serious. We have to start looking and saying, what has God put us here to bring to the world? And let me make sure that the people who own it are Black and look like me. And there's never a time where I'm getting edged out of my own company by a white majority private equity group, or they're doing a leverage buyout where they're buying your company. Why are all the black hair care lines owned by white funding? So because they buy our companies. That's what they do. They'll go and, hey, let's go get, you know, Carol's daughter and Miel and all of these people. Black Africa. Oh, this looks like a good one. What are the sales? 200 million? Oh, yeah, we're going to buy that. And now this is owned by white money, and it's staying in their families. This is what we need to change. Who owns the companies?
Absolutely. And, you know, you were mentioning stuff that like the white folks dandruff or eczema or what have you. But it's interesting. Over time, like the name Dr. Charles Drew, who did the process for separating blood plasma, then ended up getting in an accident, I believe, and being prohibited from taking advantage of the very technology that he developed and ended up dying because of it. So we have the wherewithal to come up with these things that the larger majority of the community is able to take advantage of, but so often, unfortunately, that same level of that it's just been denied us, you know, to us.
And we're worried now. We have sisters, like families are worried about going and letting certain doctors treat them. This is a real thing. It's a perfect window of opportunity, because if we're worried about who our healthcare practitioners are going to be, who are the people who are helping us with, that's what we build first. These are the things, these are the clues of what we build first. Where is it the most, trepidation of, if we develop a hospital that delivers babies because we believe that they're, disproportionately, killing our black mothers during childbirth, then let's start to go there. But we are investing into a company that is building a hospital. We can see them. We can see the people. We can see the founders. We can see the medical team. We can see the research team. We can see who's the marketing person. We can see this the same way we watch on Shark Tank. But the only difference is we can now invest in that company that we liked on Shark Tank versus, oh, yeah, all right, Cuban got another one.
That's a great example of the rich getting rich.
100%. I knew Damon was going to get that. He's into the licensing deals. Man, these sharks just keep making the money. We're about to be the sharks now. We're about to be the ones. And this is what we want to get across to Anaya and to BP 2025. Now, I want to mention this gentleman who we saw a movement that looked like Black Project 2025 in 2020. It was called the Blackout Coalition. It was a huge, fast-growing Facebook group, got to 1.8 million followers and group members in like lightning speed, Godspeed. And I immediately started reaching out to Calvin Martyr, who is the founder and creator. He would be what Anaya is to BP 2025. I'm like, listen, I realize this is happening fast. Hey, I have some ideas. I don't need anything from this. Let me, here, some ideas. Never heard back. I think time has proven that what happened was bigger than what he could have, what he handled, because, he ended up changing the name of the group to, anytime you say, all right, well, I got about 10,000 committed people. All right, y'all, we going to be the new group.
Right.
It went from 1.8 million committed to 10,000, and now we called the remnant. It's over, brother. It's over.
It's funny because you say that, because I've watched Anaya and she's done a series of these videos, these updates, and part of what she was saying is that she didn't, at some point, she thought maybe the name would need to change, but she was wise enough to realize that she needs to keep the momentum that's around this particular name at this point. And that's, to your point, is that, people don't really like a lot of change. So they're like, well, wait, what happened to BP 2025? What are we calling it now? That's something different. I don't know what that's all about.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got to maintain the trust that we've talked about. One thing you did mention, and I just saw something on social media about this, and this is an ongoing thing. Right now, I believe it's in, well, the black community for sure, the black dollar only circulates like 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as we get money, we go to those hair shops or those restaurants that aren't ours, those types of things, and we give our money to them instead of going to black-owned companies, black-owned businesses, products and services, spending our money there and having it circulate.
And the problem is, let's just hire the people to work for us. That's we want to have a black-owned Chinese restaurant, and Brother Green, who's a pastor, is cooking the Chinese food. We know this black-owned. No, I don't want a black brother. No offense. I don't want to walk into a fried chicken, Mama D's Soul Fried Chicken and see, Chun Lin. What are you doing here, brother?
I need somebody.
No,
experience.
Give me the culture. Just change who owns it. So all we're doing is hiring the people who run the nail shops. Hey, what they paying you over there?
Right.
Okay, well, we got something new. Hey, because no one's going to shop with them once we start opening these in scale. So you might as well just jump off the ship now, come work for us. You want a neighborhood that looks exactly like the neighborhood that we come from, except we own it. You walk into the pizza shop, it's an Italian kid, Danny D. Hey, what's up, Dan? Where you live at, man? You know, I live about 20 minutes from here, 30 minutes, man. But I love coming to work down here, man. I meet so many great people. Man, I'm glad they enjoy my pizza recipes. Yeah, absolutely. Listen, you're going to have a job here for a long time. And we the type, we might make you GM over this store, open up a lot. See, because we share our wealth. So you mess around, you bring your recipes as we open up 10, 20, 30 of these, you're going to get wealthy with us, but you're not going to own the businesses in our cities because we can't do that in your cities.
Right. And that's the thing, is that we can't. You know, we can open businesses, but not always people, you know, they're in places where the white community maybe not feel comfortable coming in necessarily, or the word hasn't gotten out to them yet. But once it gets to scale or gets to being big, they don't mind. They'll buy it. If it serves their purposes, they'll buy it. They might not want to know where it came from.
And that could be half of them.
Right.
But we looking for the people who want to say, I just want a great product. They love our culture anyway. So it's just like if we create a code, like our Black America looks just like America. I'm going to keep saying that. It looks just like America. You'll know you're in Black America when you see prosperous cities, but the stores, the strips look the same. The stuff, you still got your urban wear clothing shops with your Timbs and the Air Force Ones. The only difference is Black people working there, not Middle Eastern dudes. Why do I need you, Jaffe, so fair to sell me jeans, bro? How is you gonna? Why do we have people who don't look nothing like us, don't
Right.
come from where we're from, not in the culture, selling us jeans, shirts, fitted hats, stuff that takes no degree of market research to sell? We don't have to wonder, hey, you think if we put Timbs in here, you think they'll buy them? We don't have to hope they know we buy Timbs. It's so easy to run these companies. Only difference is they've isolated the networks. They're going to pay less than us because they're bringing money at scale. But that's why I'm saying, private funders, you connect with Anaya, with this group. Let's start to see some pitches for these Black beauty supply line stores where we can go to these people, let them know the days are coming to an end. What does that mean? We now know how to raise money and we're buying everything. Right. So all of this stuff you run in our communities, and that's coming to an end. Oh, but my grandson is going to college in 2 years. It's going to be very hard for him. I'm telling you, don't spend all the money because we're going to open up 8 of these shops in the next 2 years. No one's coming here anymore.
Yeah. You hear the...
Give us the connect.
That's it. We want the plug.
We want the plug. Give us everybody you know. Where do you get the Brazilian hair at 1 cent per ounce? We need that, all of that.
I was thinking about that today, or a couple of
Open
ago, actually.
season. Go ahead.
$1.8 trillion is the estimated Black spending ability. Now, that number has obviously grown through the years. I remember when it was less than $1 billion. You know, it was like, but it was always a significant amount of money that we make money in our communities. But we, as we just talked about, unfortunately, we don't always spend it within our communities. And in our last segment, maybe we'll get into that a little bit more deeper. We'll wrap up anything we may have not covered in the earlier segments, but we'll be right back.
Hello, Black America.
Since 2020, I've been showing people everything car dealers like the one I'm standing in front of don't want you to know about car buying. Things like you don't need a down payment to get a great deal, you don't need to be a great negotiator, and you definitely don't need to spend more than 30 minutes in a car dealership. I spent 14 years in the car business, 5 with Mercedes-Benz, 5 with General Motors, and I just released my new digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's already 5-star rated, and I want the entire Hello Black America audience to have a copy at 75% off. So go to carsfromhomebook.com, use promo code HBA as in Hello Black America, and don't forget to send me your success story. If you're enjoying what you're watching, the easiest thing you could do to support us is hit that like button. Let's get back to it.
Welcome back. Hello, Black America. Having a fascinating conversation about BP 2025. If you don't know, that's Black Project 2025, which is a basically a retaliation. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
It's a response to what we believe are the horrors of Project 2025. Let's just call it like it is, right? So
the third person from Project 2025 has been who apparently the president never knew, never heard of him, never worked with him. He's just hired the third member of the co-authored Project 2025. I never knew none of them. Yeah. 3 of them work for him now. So go ahead. Sorry.
That's problematic on another level. But listen, we are nothing if not resilient. Our people have shown that over and over and over again. You know, you give us the insides of a pig, and we make chitlins out of it, right? We make it a delicacy. Now you go in the store, you can't even buy chitlins if you were interested in such a thing, which I personally am not. I'm just going to go on record with that, but I'm just that's not my thing.
That's a fact, though.
But
that's a fact.
We are resilient. We take what we've been given, the scraps, we turn them into delicacies, we make them cool. Other people profit off of that. And I've heard you say it before. The time for other people capitalizing on what we've made cool
is over.
That's over.
We
have to bring that to an end. And I'm hopeful, I'm prayerful that Black Project 2025 is the mechanism through which that happens. And we have to keep sounding the drum. The beat has to keep going. We have to maintain the momentum and not get distracted by, the next World Star video or whatever it is that comes out that gets our attention.
And
now.
It's World Star's job right now to cover Anaya Holloway.
Absolutely.
It's the Shade Room's job right now to cover Anaya Holloway. See, we're going to find out very, very soon, like now, who's with us and who's truly not.
Who's on our
Because
side.
this is a call to action to any media company that's not covering Black Project 2025 or Anaya Holloway. You are doing your people, your audience, a disservice. Even if they weren't your audience, that if this is not your audience's movement, then it's still national news. It's still something that is extremely viral. It's something that is country news. It's something that affects the United States because, quite honestly, why wouldn't you want to see Black people rally together, unify, to create better commerce, higher GDP, have more wealth? That's going to reduce crime as we reduce poverty. That's going to reduce crime in the neighborhood, which is crimes in our country. Why wouldn't you want to see that? So if you continue to see that if you continue to see Dr. Umar talking about every plan he has for a school, but he's not pointing you to Black Project 2025 or Anaya Holloway, I got to ask why. Why, brother? We have no problem pointing to another leader who is rising up, who we need to support as a community, who has rallied something that we haven't seen in many, many years. Can you take the spotlight off of yourself for a second and put it on the brighter bulb? The brightest bulb in the Black community right now is Anaya Holloway. She is the one that God has selected to have all eyes on her, and she is doing a great job. And anyone who is talking on these shows, on these platforms, and they still talking about the same stuff they was talking about 3 months ago, 6 months ago, because they know it gets 200, 500, 2 million views. These are the people who are not going to be with us in Black America.
Absolutely. And that's, you said something so profound there, is that people need to take the spotlight off themselves. And I mean, we all have ideas, right? We have ideas, we have plans. In some cases, people, maybe they think they have a better way to do it. But if we can put our selfish nature aside for a while, and she pretty much says this, Anaya says this in her video, if we could just put our own pride aside, is the way she puts it, but it's selfish pride because I have my own idea. I want to push for a moment. Let's just put our stuff behind, maybe on the back burner for now, and support this woman and see if this is the time that it's gonna come through. We said it didn't work until it did, and then this is the time, and we have to stay focused on that. Too many of us, and I've probably been guilty of this, if I'm honest. you want to take a little wait and see attitude. Is she really going to sustain the energy? Is she really? What she needs to sustain the energy is you to add your energy to it.
Absolutely.
And that's rather than sitting back on the sidelines waiting to see if she's going to fail. How about jumping in the game and seeing if you can't impact the outcome of the game?
Absolutely.
And lend whatever it is that you have to her overall effort. And maybe, just maybe, if we can sustain that momentum, we can actually bring this through to fruition. And imagine how glorious it would be if we didn't have to ask the government for anything.
Facts.
We were able to support our own needs without having to ask anybody for any kind of support.
Absolutely.
Now, there's nothing wrong with asking for help when you need it, but the handwriting is clear, right? They really don't want to help us. The systems that we exist within are not designed to help us. They weren't designed for us. The sooner we can get that out of our minds that some white person is coming to rescue us, the sooner we'll be free.
100%.
The sooner we will actually live out the message that this country put forth, that we all can live prosperously, pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness without any barriers to that. And I would love to see a time when that happens. My experiences make me, hesitant to say, wow, it's really going to happen.
Sure.
But I got to be hopeful about it, right?
Sure.
Otherwise, I just drown in depression, right?
Sure.
We have to remain hopeful. If we don't maintain hope for ourselves, who's going to?
Absolutely. And the good thing is you can do simple things to support what's happening. If you can go watch the webinar, obviously give a donation to the GoFundMe. That's just for startup costs. People got to get used to what's called crowdfunding, because you're only going to build your business by crowdfunding or by raising actual capital in exchange for shares. Crowdfunding is what we would consider like a grassroots movement, where you're going to the people and saying, hey, this is what happened. This is what we want to do. Can you contribute so that we can just have enough money to get us to the next level? And that's what happened. She went viral. She had a plan. She created the GoFundMe to make sure that she can at least take care of the initial costs and the initial overhead for the people on her team. That's a great thing. So go give to that. Make sure you join the Discord. Be on the email list. You need to be in the know, everything BP 2025. And I want to mention Roland Martin, Karen Hunter, Urban View Radio, any Black-owned Breakfast Club. We're going to continue to reach out to you guys to cover BP 2025. We want to let everyone know, Go Black to Africa. There's so many people who we are connecting with to let you know everything you should be doing right now should be following the BP 2025 movement. Your audience needs to know about this. Your audience needs to know about her. And this is the first step of us building a unified media network. See, we can't, we said something on the last episode. We talked about how 4 men, when they decide they want to, President Trump, Elon Musk, Tucker Carlson, and Joe Rogan, they can talk to 200, 300 million people anytime they want to, which means if they want to get a message out, they can get it out in a unified way. We have to take every Black media company, get on one accord, share these types of stories with each other. These are monumental, game-changing things that are happening, and it's no reason why all of us at one time should not be talking about Black Project 2025. That means that when one of us is silenced, we're all silenced, and that's not going to happen. We're going to have the point where one person gets silent and the movement continues because there's 80 other people talking about the same thing. So they're going to just eventually say, well, we can't stop what they're going to post because they're unified. So media companies, check your emails, connect with us. We want to know about the stories you're covering. If you discover something first that you know we need to know, we want to be on one accord communication-wise when it comes to these things.
You know, it's interesting. While you were speaking, I was just thinking that, everybody likes to maintain their individuality, their uniqueness, especially if they're broadcasting, right? You don't want to necessarily turn on Urban View or Black Star, Roland Martin's network, and get. You want to diversify the information and the news, but when we're dealing with Black America, we have to shine the spotlight on what's important to us. If you look at the mainstream news, right? If you look at Channel 2 News and then you turn to Channel 4 News, it's the same information. I mean, they might package it up a little bit differently. Obviously, you got the personalities of the commentators or the reporters that add a little bit to it, but it's the same information. You're getting the same basic information from all of those places. So there's nothing wrong with us as a Black community. If you turn on, if I turn on Karen Hunter's show and I'm listening and she's talking about this, and then later on I tune in to Roland Martin and he's talking about this, I pop on Hello Black America and they're talking about this. Now we begin to galvanize people, and they're like, hey, maybe they're talking about it in the barbershop or the beauty shop. Hey, I heard Deshone, brother Deshone, talking about Hello Black America on this latest show. So we have to generate that buzz. And one thing we do better than anybody is make things cool. We've talked about it, right? And we just have to remind ourselves that our stuff is cool. And, that's where we want to get with this.
Absolutely. So, the time to move is right now. We need to be following everything BP 2025 does. Everything, every group member, every moderator, follow them. These are the people that are going to keep order. And let's start to create the line of communications for how we're going to submit ideas and plans. When it comes to the ability to build businesses and sell shares in these companies, I think we need to start laying the framework for that very early. Let's start to connect private equity with the people who need money. Let's start to galvanize a group of some sort where we can identify players and what their roles are. Who are the capitalists and who are the people putting capital up? Who are the people that need it? And let's begin to build that virtual Shark Tank where people that look like us are coming all the time pitching their companies, be it restaurants, be it, cancer facilities, hospitals. They've done the research and we're watching Black America pitch their businesses to Black-owned and Black-run private equity companies. Let's start to develop what we need to start to put this media network together. And it starts with unifying around this message. And then let's start to really just open wide the lines of communication between the public and the Black Project 2025 leadership team. We want to make sure that your suggestion box is full, that at any given time you can open up that box and see plans and people willing to do them. Not just people saying, here, y'all should do this. They might have plans where they say, hey, look, let us take this over and run it. But it's all for Black 2025. It's all for Black Project 2025.
Important message is that we're not in it for any reason other than the advancement of our people. We're not getting a backdoor check for this. We're not trying to hijack this movement. We're just, like you just said, we want to lend our efforts to something that we believe is an idea whose time has come. We always say we are the generation. So this is our time. This is the time when the message has been given to this young lady. We need to recognize the brilliance of our own people and that our ice is just as cold as theirs. We can come up with our own agenda, our own plan. We can put it all together and we as a people can fulfill this. We've shown it over and over again. We've just never done it for ourselves. Now's the time to show and prove, as they say. It's time for Hello Black America to stand up, coalesce around a plan that will free us all. And once we do that, you'll see the beauty of this and how it does help us all in the end. So Hello, Black America.